Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ginger Broderick, and I'm the host of the Ginger New York TV show. Welcome to Ginger Fridays at M&N TV Studios. We are live here in New York City, and I also want to welcome all the viewers from My Jam Music Network. We are airing in 194 countries around the world. So welcome, everyone. We have a great show for you today. We have several artists from the Gold Coast Art Center out in Great Neck, New York. We have the gallery director. Her name is June Amsel. We have one of the photographers on exhibit. Her name is Deborah Feingold. And we also have Zamad. He's an international graffiti artist, and his work at the center as well. So welcome, Jude. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Deborah. Thank you for bringing in all of your friends.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
I understand you're from the South Bronx.
Oh, yeah.
And you're
originally South Bronx. Now I just live in the Bronx. On the other side.
You survived.
Yes.
God bless you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
survived the 80s.
Yeah. That's when I moved here. Yeah. I don't think I even went into the Manhattan in the 80s, but congratulations on all your work. And Deborah, thank you for bringing in your friends. And Jude, you are the gallery director at Gold Coast Art Center in Great Neck.
Yes, I am.
And we have a mutual friend in common, Norina Barbella. So,
hi,
hello,
Norina, if you're watching.
And thank you so much all for coming in. You've had this wonderful photography exhibit at the center, and you also have a film festival going on right now.
Yes, we do. It's happening right now at the Gold Coast Art Center. It's our 8th year of having the film festival, so we're very proud of it, and it's premiering right now as we speak.
That's wonderful. That's great. I was out for your opening for your photography exhibit.
Yes.
And is that still ongoing?
Yes, that
Just
will.
a couple more days, I think?
No, that's up until right through the holidays.
Okay. Okay, very good. And you have some wonderful photos there, and that's your first exhibit, I understand?
It is my first exhibit. I've only been a photographer, an ambitious photographer for a few years, largely because of the Art Center. I went to an exhibit there several years ago, and I've always enjoyed photography. I love taking pictures, all arts, graphic arts, performing arts, but I was looking at the photos in the exhibit, and I thought, this is right here in my backyard. I know a couple of these people. Maybe I could do this. And in time, I met Jude, who is the gallery director, and she puts up these amazing exhibits with these world-class artists who do incredible work. And she said, I think you have something there. I think your photographs are good. And I said, really? Really? That's amazing. And she said, I think you should.
How wonderful they are.
They are.
She said, I think you should do more. And then earlier this year, she said to me, I'm going to have a photography exhibit at the gallery in the fall. And I said, oh, that's wonderful. And she said, and I want you to be in it. And I said, really? That's amazing. So this is my first public exhibit of my work. It's been, I've had a few things in some major publications sort of randomly. The pictures of celebrities and
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, yes. And also of the band Strawberry Fields, with whom I have a rather close relationship, and
with John.
with the John Lennon of Strawberry Fields, who is my husband, and so I have, for a long time, one of my photos was being used advertising their residency at BB King's until BB's closed in April, but as art and to get the imprimatur of artists, this is such a thrill for me to be in this company. I can't even begin to describe it. These guys are world class and world renowned.
Thank you.
I understand, Jude, you have a sculpture at the 9/11 sculpture at the Fire Museum. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Well, before I became a curator and the gallery director, I'm an artist first, I always like to say. And I was commissioned by the City of New York in 2002 to do a large sculpture of all the firemen who perished 9/11. So it was such an honor to be chosen as the artist to do such a sculpture of 343 firemen who perished that day. So that is on permanent display at the Fire Museum on Varick and Spring Street. And it's a great museum to go visit.
I've never been there before. You
It's
know,
very
but,
educational, besides having a wonderful art gallery, and my piece is there. And
Wonderful, congratulations.
Thank you.
And you've done a wonderful job at the Arts Center. You've been there for 20-some years, you said?
I've been there for 20-something years, yes, time flies. It was a vision that Regina Gill, our executive director, had at the Gold Coast Arts Center, and she invited me in, and I'm one of the founding members. And I just went for the ride, and it's been incredible.
Good for you.
And I've been the gallery director for the last 5 or 6 years. And my goal was, after I raised my family in Great Neck, and after I left Great Neck, the kids are grown, I went back to the city, and I went to Long Island City, which is booming, with artists, and I met Z-Man.
Well, I was just going to ask how you met him.
He was painting at 5 Points, which was in the news being whitewashed. It was very sad that that happened, but I had met so many incredible international graffiti and street and stencil artists, which is, I've learned, is a very big difference between stencil, graffiti, and street art. They all have their own definition. So it was a great education, and after the whitewashing of 5 Points, they had given me the first show in our gallery at the Gold Coast Arts Center. So not that we weren't on the map before, but this really put us on the map as far as being a gallery that's a destination. I'm really trying to bridge urban-suburban. So I like to bring the shows to the suburbs, and I have many people who have moved back to the suburbs from Brooklyn and Manhattan, raising their families, whatever reason. They walk in, they go, "What is this doing here? What is this art doing here?" I said, "I'm bringing it to you."
That's
so
wonderful.
That's my mission.
How did you develop your style as an artist?
I developed really early. I started, I would say, my career at the age of 14.
Wow.
And I still have that career to this day. And
That's
it's
amazing.
Just like, just building. I mean, I started out as a graffiti artist in the street. And then in mid-'80s, I started doing stuff with fashion, where I was designing clothing for a lot of singers. And as well as doing backdrops for television. And I realized that I can make a business out of this, and
Good for you.
I'm going to pursue the art career.
Keith Harrington, right? Is
Keith Haring.
is a famous artist. So you were around, starting around that time as well?
1979 I started.
So you're ahead of him, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. I
Good for
started in
you.
79, and I would say in 84 is when I first got my first gallery show.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I helped work with the Pioneer Art Dealers for the Chelsea Art Market, and it's very exciting to follow, artists and dealers and their visions and ideas and how, things progress. So congratulations. And then you two met because of
5 Points.
That's wonderful. And then he's been in many exhibits. At his
Yes,
center.
I'm really happy to say whenever we have an exhibit, ZMAT is so gracious and generous to the Arts Center. And we have a gala every year, and we honored the curator, Mayors Jonathan Cohn and Marie Flegul at our gala, who were the curators of 5 Points. So it's been a really great relationship with the Gold Coast Arts Center.
And you've displayed your work all around the world, I understand.
Oh yeah. I sell a lot. Like I'll sell pieces online or through a gallery. Right now I'm in auction in Paris. I have one of my pieces at auction, so it's kind of like
I was traveling in Europe, and I went to one of the art fairs, and I was in Lyon, and I walked out of a restaurant, and there was one of ZMAD's murals right in front of me.
Yeah.
So that was very cool.
Yeah.
I had an artist here one time that he travels all around the world, and he scrapes off those posters that are on the streets, you know, and he does a lot of the poster art. Yeah,
Okay.
it's really
That's
amazing
fun.
on
Yeah.
the ideas that people have.
Yeah.
And which, you know, a lot of times, you know, with the graffiti, you know, probably kids did it just to have fun,
Yeah.
and then it turned into a real art form.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, we have some photos that we'd like to roll in. If the control room can roll in some of the photos for us so that the audience can see some of the artwork that we're talking about. So that's one of
That's
your
great.
pieces.
That's one of my pieces. That's the actual piece that's in Lyon, France right now.
Oh.
And I went out there with Mears to do a job in Geneva. And so that's the piece that we actually took the train into France to do.
And they're large pieces too. I saw
They're
some
pretty large.
clips
Huge.
Yeah.
where you're standing on a ladder, you
Yeah.
know,
Oh, yeah.
several feet high doing
Sometimes we do it like 20 feet up in the air. And, yeah.
this. Wow.
Depending on the size of the wall.
Okay. And this is a
That-
hotel in
That's
Switzerland?
the hotel in Switzerland, Envy, Hotel Envy, and that's Mears on the left side, and I did the piece that's on the right side.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting. Okay.
This is what we call black book pieces, and they're pieces that are done in black books that are sketches, like really intricate sketches, before we go and do them on walls. So these were like are like blueprints to anything we did in the streets.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, and here, look how
Wow.
This is a cooler for Red Bull,
cooler.
and it's a cooler.
I had to
that-
look at that photo a few times.
It's a Red Bull cooler, and there was a number of artists. Now with Red Bull, they select the artists that they want, and you can't really apply to be one of their artists. And they had hit me up one day and asked me if I would like to design a cooler.
Wow.
And yeah, that was it.
Good for you. Good for you.
That's another one of the black book pieces that I did. As you see, like I use a lot of, that's basically all marker right there.
That's amazing.
And for a typewriter company, they had me paint like a bunch of typewriters, and I used like animal prints as well as artists that I looked up to. Like I've done like a Salvador Dali typewriter, Keith Haring, a Warhol, a Basquiat typewriters, where I just do paintings how they would paint onto the typewriter's face.
I learned how to type on typewriters like that.
Yes. Yes.
Some people don't know what those are.
Yeah. That was the first. That was the first texting. I was like, write a letter.
Now, this is a photograph of yours, Deborah. Can
Yes.
you tell us? I mean, look at the feathers
Yeah.
and the makeup. Where did you find this?
Believe it or
person?
not, there is a tribe of Indians out in the Hamptons on Long Island, the Shinnecock. And the Shinnecock have a reservation, and they keep many of their traditions alive, even though it's a very small community. And yearly they have a powwow, not just for themselves, but for tribes from all over North America. And
Oh my!
and it's open to the public. It's every Labor Day weekend for the whole weekend, and it's spectacular. It's really a photographer's dream. You can't go wrong. Just point your camera in any direction, and this guy is magnificent. He was one of the dancers. The dancing is competition as well as performance, and also culture.
Looks like he has a number bib on him.
Yes.
Too,
Yeah.
and then what's interesting about this, it looks like it's an actual animal headpiece.
It is. The furs are real, the feathers are real. There are
incredible.
artisans within the communities who make these pieces, and I'm sure some of the dancers make their own pieces as well. So I don't know at what point it becomes a meme when you're doing art of people's art. But this is, you know, it's performance art and it's visual art and it's craftsmanship and artisanship, and it blew me away. And I was lucky to capture these images.
You're so close too.
Well, that's that's lensing. It's the lens. It's the cropping, and
This is at the festival as well.
a couple of kids who are waiting to perform. And I just like the fact that despite the costumes, they just look like teenagers. But also, the spectacular beauty of the faces of the Shinnecock. These are pictures of the reservation, of the Shinnecock Reservation. So not during the powwow, just
interesting.
day-to-day life. And actually, Jude, who has been guiding me, said that this being a photojournalism exhibit, storytelling through the lens, she wanted me to tell the story of the Shinnecock, not just the beautiful powwow pictures, but also who these people are, how they live. And so these were some images that I captured earlier this year.
That's one of your celebrity. This isn't John, your husband, but
it is not. It's not my husband, but it's a man I admire almost as much, but not quite. This is Paul McCartney. This was shot last year.
Oh, you got to go to one of
in
his
concerts.
Oh,
yeah,
lucky
and
you.
Dick Van Dyke at a press conference in his hometown of Danville, Illinois. This is not one of my pictures. This is a wonderful picture of the Arts Center.
Right, one of our
During the-
openings.
Yes,
right.
during the previous exhibit,
Oh, thanks,
and a young musician who performed there in front of some of the.
So you take a lot of artists from various ages in order.
All different backgrounds,
Could you keep the photos up
international.
for us, please?
This is an artist from Japan. Her name is Shiro. She's a female graffiti artist, very well known internationally, and she exhibits frequently at the Arts Center. So we get artists from all over the world.
Good for you.
This gentleman, Jack Howard Rowe, is a huge sculptor, and he does metal work out of Long Island City, but he's also international. And this was 6 tons. And when I had this delivered to the Arts Center, I was just praying that the floor could support it, that we wouldn't end up in the movie theater downstairs. But it was a big installation piece, and it was wonderful.
Just the installation of artwork.
Right, you have to figure out how to get it in, and is the door wide enough, and every year we like to invite our schools in the community, and this is a recycled show where they did a lion, Cecil the lion, who was unfortunately killed, and the kids were really upset about it, and they took all recyclable toilet paper rolls and cans, and they made this beautiful sculpture.
The kids made this?
Kids made this. This is
my
elementary
goodness.
school.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It looks like wood.
Wow.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Wow.
And
amazing.
here we are at another exhibit, just showing all the different types of artists. This is made out of garbage bags. So the first one, the lion, children did it, and this is an artist, a grown woman, who does plastic bags in an awareness to recycling. And here we have ZMAD.
Well, I thought that was you.
Talking to we have many school groups that come to the Gold Coast Arts Center, and they walk through. We have over 1,000 students a year come to get educated, and we usually accompany, after the exhibition, we do an art project that's affiliated with the exhibition that they just saw to understand the process of the artist.
Oh, interesting. I think that's great.
And this is a gentleman who bought one of my pieces. I'm also a glass artist, and I collaborated. I love collaborating with artists. And this is one of ZMAD's pieces on my art platter.
Oh, isn't
and
that
it was really exciting to work with ZMAD on my glass pieces. He allowed me to use the images.
Well, this one
That's the famous Jacques Pepin, and he is he loves my work as well, and he has some of my platters, and he visited the Art Center, and we showed his movie, and he had a book signing. So we do so many things at the Gold Coast Art Center to bring in not just visual arts, but the performing arts and lectures and.
And you describe yourself as a ceramic artist, and is that what that plate is?
Well, it's ceramic and glass.
Glass,
It's a natural transition, I think, for a lot of ceramic artists to go into glass.
Okay.
This is just a fun exhibit that we had.
So you have a lot of art programs for children as well?
Yes, yes, we have over 1,000 students. We have amazing faculty that teaches anywhere from robotics to painting, fencing, tango.
I want to go.
Yeah, it's fun. And this is from our gala. We had entertainers come, so it's always fun.
Tell us a little bit, okay, and this looks like an artist.
It's Jacques Pepin actually
Okay.
signing his book that was just released last year.
Oh, wow. So you have book
And we have
signings.
big crowds that come for our openings, which are always fun.
Well, I was really impressed when I went out to visit your exhibit last
Thank
time, and
you.
it's near the train station too.
20
for
minutes
good-
from Manhattan.
Yeah.
It's an easy commute, and I'm glad it's becoming a destination.
And it's walkable from the train.
Yeah.
It's just a couple blocks.
And who is this that you can tell us
That's
about?
Baz Luhrmann, who did
Moulin Rouge.
Moulin Rouge.
Great
and,
Gatsby.
And, the North Shore of Long Island is where F. Scott Fitzgerald wrote The Great Gatsby, which is in Great Neck. So
Oh, isn't that interesting?
we're lucky enough to have him come. We get actors, and we're just lucky to get, we have a red carpet for our film festival,
What a
which
great
is
job
happening
you
now.
have.
Yeah,
Thanks, Deborah, for
wonderful.
bringing your friends. And we have to
I
thank
have-
Tony, your husband, and for doing the.
I'm surrounded by very talented, very, very talented, impressive people.
So this is the International Film Festival that you have, and it's in its 8th year, and it's ongoing right now.
Right now, up until the 13th, we have hundreds of films that are premiering with us, and then you'll just come, and there's usually somebody that's affiliated with the movie for a Q&A, and you get free popcorn. What could be bad?
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
I
Where do
didn't know
people
we got
find
free
you?
popcorn.
At www.goldcoastarts.org.
And Deborah, do you have a website for people to find you?
I don't have a website. They can find my work for the exhibit currently, through the Gold Coast Arts Center site as well. But no, I don't. I got to get to work on that.
Well, you can always reach her through
It's
the
in
Arts
Well, you
Center.
got the GNY bump right now,
Right.
so you're
Yeah.
at another,
Like the Colbert bump.
And we're always looking for artists, so
Yeah,
you can
that's
always
wonderful.
reach me at the website
Wonderful.
through the gallery.
Oh, that's a great idea. That's wonderful.
And
Z-Man?
I have a website. It's lewislamboy.com. It's LuisLamboy. That shows like a lot of the professional work I've done for television, for movies, as well as my Instagram, which is zimad_art. And you'll see like daily photos of what I'm doing on my
I'm a new
Instagram.
follower of yours. I'm not a stalker, but I do watch closely, people that have come through on the show once I'm aware of them. And congratulations, because I know how
Thank you.
exciting it is, working with artists and dealers, and to be able to do it full time is so wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of work, I know, behind the scenes, and to fulfill a lot of the demands, and, for the art galleries,
the two of them are so prolific. They really are. They're so inspiring. And every time I go on Instagram, Z-Man has something new up there, and it's always great. And he changes mediums. He changes mediums, and
Spoken like a true artist now. I love it.
I'm a lover of art, and like I said,
and you're one of
I'm
them
surrounded
now.
by
Yeah.
inspiration.
We're very happy to have Debbie Sable in our exhibition right now at the Art Center.
You had another lady who's a rock photographer. Gold.
Deborah
Oh,
Feingold.
Deborah Feingold, amazing work, great. And it's also great when you sell pieces. We have a lot of red dots in our gallery these days,
Oh, good
so
for
it's
you.
really nice to support the arts. It's always appreciated.
Wonderful.
And the thing about the gallery also is I started out buying, I think that's how Jude and I met, is I bought a piece from the gift shop. And it was affordable, but it was a piece of original art. And I thought that was so cool.
Right.
You had some woven blankets there too, because I've been studying crocheting, and so I've been paying more attention to
Yeah.
these designs. And you had something there for, I don't know, $125, which
It's unheard of,
Right.
I know. And the proceeds also, a portion of it, go to the Arts Center. So you're supporting the Arts Center when you're buying anything in the gallery, which is so great. And we like to also encourage causes. The blanket that you saw, also the shawls, is a Bulgarian artist. And we're helping her raise money to go to Europe to get treatment for her cancer. So we really are doing great things and spending the money for good causes.
That's really interesting. Congratulations. I think it's really great. We're down to like the last 2 to 3 minutes. If there's anything of particular that we haven't discussed that you want to talk about, or upcoming programs, any special films that you suggest for people to see with the film festival?
Well, you'll have to go online. There are so many films to choose from right now, and it is until the 13th of November. Our next exhibition coming up is going to be Chinese contemporary art. It's not just going to be an art exhibit, it's going to be an event. So we're having dragon dancers and music performances, string instruments, and a very large Chinese American art exhibit. So I hope everybody comes and sees this wonderful.
Congratulations. No wonder you've had the job for 25 years.
It's fun.
I enjoyed doing the research on you, and then it was not only are you an art gallery director, but you're an artist as well. And then I saw the work that you did for the Fire Museum.
And thank you so much for having us on your wonderful show.
Absolutely. Thank you, Deborah.
My pleasure, and I'm sure that you've got stuff coming up, right?
Do I?
Show?
You were just telling me about the sweatshirt too, which is so cool.
The auction that's in Paris right now, and I have the information for that on my Instagram page. The shirt is a MIK, so it's kind of it's a shirt that was designed originally in the 80s, and they're bringing it back out to wear, and it stands for Most Idolized Kings.
Good for you.
So it's just like a group of us who are like family. So,
do you continually do your art, daily? I mean, do you create
every day?
Every day.
Every day. I wake up and I pretty much go down into my basement, which is my studio, and then I just start creating. I create for future shows or just to paint, to get it out of my system.
Good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, everyone, I want to thank you so much for coming in and watching our show. My name is Ginger Broderick. I'm the host of Ginger New York. Every Friday afternoon, we profile arts and entertainment throughout the city here, and I hope, and I'm sure you enjoyed the show today with Jude and Deborah and Simad. Right?
Thank you.
Thank you, Ginger.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you again for joining in. We'll see you